Hello everyone, welcome back to the tutorial. And in the previous video, we were exploring the concepts of grad eye, how basically you can draw a UI out of a normal function, right? So let's try to go ahead and explore a few bits more. Okay, what we are going to do here. So with the help of this grad eye framework, I'm going to show you how basically we can try to go ahead and draw a few shapes, the 2D shapes, okay? So how the overall UI looks like, it's that right now you are having a drop down and out of it you can select the kind of shapes you are trying to draw. Okay. There is a color picker. And out of this, you can try to just click on the overall shades of color and you can select what color I would be filling within the shape. Okay. And here's the size parameter. Out of it, you can try to basically select what should be the size of my specific shape, whatever I'm trying to draw. So in this UI right now, I'm having just two shapes. If you just select a few stuff out of these three options and try to submit, then this is how the overall shapes are going to be looking like. Interesting, right? Okay. So let's see, by the way, how basically we can try to implement that. So I'm already having a coding of this. So I'll just show you and explain that how basically we can try to draw these shapes and we can try to make the UI out of it. So let's go ahead. So I guess all of you are curious enough to know that how basically we can try to go ahead and draw those shapes, right? So let's go ahead and try to see how we can try to implement that. So I'm already having the code here. Let's try to see what does it mean or how basically the implementation can go on. Correct enough? Okay. But yeah, before going ahead with the explanation of the code, just see this line. We are having a separate library requirement. That's going to be the pillow library. What does it do? It helps me draw 2D custom shapes, right? Whatever I'm trying to implement on my specific UI, correct? So this is what we are required to go ahead and install in my system. How you can try to do it? First of all, you can just write the specific command, pip install below, and this will do the necessary installation in your machine, okay? And it is already installed in mine. So I'm not required to do it. Even if I basically press an enter, it's going to be giving me the verdict that the requirement is already satisfied. Fair enough, everyone? Okay. So that's what it is giving me. Once you have basically installed it, go ahead and import two modules from the specific library. That's going to be the image module and image draw module. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, fine. So once you have basically imported the stuff, let's first try to go ahead and make the interface. So we will make our application and that's going to be a grad.io interface. Now here, what function you are going to go ahead and implement as an UI? So basically that's going to be the draw function and that draw function is responsible for the sake of making those shapes. Correct? Okay. Once this is done, correct? Once I've read Once I have fed the draw function within the specific append variable, I'm required to specify the inputs. What are the inputs we have seen? First of all, there was a drop down, correct? So I would be saying that within this specific grad.io library, whatever I'm utilizing, right? Select the drop down functionality and feed a list of values what it is required to show as a drop down, correct? And in our case, it's going to be the rectangle and circle. Fair enough. Now the next option is gonna be the color picker. Again, grad.io has an inbuilt functionality that basically gives you a wide range of colors, what you can select as a part of your shades, correct? And that functionality is the color picker. Okay. Automatically, it's gonna show you that specific column where you can just select the overall shades of colors. Okay, no extra thing I am required to do on my own. Then we can go ahead and select the size. Okay, whatever may be the specific sliders value that has a minimum range of 10, maximum value of 200. That's what we can try to implement here. Okay. Now in this interface, right, what should be the output? That's going to be of something image type right now. You are trying to render something onto the browser, right? So what kind of stuff it's going to be rendering? It's going to be a image for us. And then we can go ahead and try to launch it. But yes, let's try to see how overall the draw function is going to be looking like right now. Okay, so what we are going to be doing inside this draw function, three stuff we are going to be accepting. What shape I'm trying to draw, what color I would be filling the shape with, right? And what should be the size. Okay, so size is basically what? It is basically a decision on how the dimension of the 2D shape is going to be looking like. How this size is useful, right? We are just going to explore that. But yes, one thing I think you have seen within the specific UI, what was it? You are basically having an empty screen. Okay, just let me change the color of this marker so that it becomes more visible. So yes, first of all, I'm requiring an empty pad or empty screen, whatever you may call it, correct? And here's where I guess in this specific rectangle shape, I'm drawing the actual shape of circle that is filled with certain color, or it can be a rectangle, right? That's what I think we have seen inside the UI. Okay, fine. So this specific sketchpad is what firstly I'm required to implement. So I will first implement this sketchpad in the form of an image, correct? Then inside this image, I'm going to draw my shape. That's how basically we can try to think as a part of my implementation. So how this image can be basically drawn, the empty pad, whatever we are just talking about. So you can take the help of this image module. Out of it, you can try to create a new image. Okay. The coloring mode of this specific entire image, what kind of coloring it's going to be supporting. So let that be the RGB model, red, green, blue. It means that. What should be the dimension of this specific sketchpad, whatever I'm terming as the image right now. So that's going to be of size 400 length, 400 breadth. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. The background color of this specific sketchpad is going to be white. You can just have it in your own terms, kind of sky blue, anything of your choice. Okay. And after that, right, this is the image configuration I have mentioned. Now I am required to draw it on my specific screen. So I'm required to basically take the help of this image draw module. Out of it, if I apply the draw functionality and feed the image details, right, it's going to be creating the image for me, and that created or drawn image data I would be referring with the help of this specific canvas variable. Okay. So once your this specific stuff is ready, right, the empty sketchpad without the shape, you can go ahead and try to draw that specific shape, whatever you want, correct? So I would be selecting the shape, whether that's going to be rectangle, circle, anything, right? And if the shape parameter has been fed equal to that of the rectangle, correct? Inside this specific drawn image, I can try to call its own rectangle functionality. And this functionality leads to the automatic drawing of the rectangle shape within this specific sketchpad, whatever we have just implemented. Okay. In order to draw it, what are the stuff we are required to implement, or what are the parameters we are required to feed? You are required to give the XY sizing. Okay. What does it mean basically? See, if basically I have made a sketchpad of 400 cross 400 dimension, right? 400 is the length, 400 is the breadth. Correct enough? Then see, how I am going to be drawing it, I will just target the center. So center is going to be at the specific coordinate 200x, 200y. Correct? Now from the center onwards, how much I can try to extend, okay, towards the left or right and towards the up down direction. Maximum stretches of xy coordinates towards the all four direction, right? That's what I'm going to feed within this specific xy parameter. Correct enough? Okay. So 200 minus size, 200 minus size, correct? What are these values that are signifying? 200 minus size, it's the leftmost x coordinate that my specific rectangle can take, correct? How about 200 minus size? It's going to be the downmost y coordinate that the specific rectangle can take. Similarly, rightmost x coordinate and the topmost y coordinate. These are 200 plus size. This is what I'm also required to feed, right, while creating the rectangle. These are the extremities, and based on them only your specific shape would be created. And whatever color you have selected, right, out of the color picker, you are required to fill that within the shape. Once these parameters you have fed within the rectangle function, the specific canvas functionality is already going to make it for you within that specific sketchpad. Similarly, you can feed the x and y extremities, right, in your xy parameter while implementing or calling the ellipse functionality. In order to basically draw a circle, we are required to implement the ellipse functionality. And you can fill the color as it is. Fair enough. Once your entire sketchpad is ready with the drawing of the specific shape, whatever you have drawn right now, correct? The image object is what I'm required to return out of this function. And whatever is the current image data, right, that would be rendered by your grad.io library. And then we would be able to see that within the specific browser, wherever basically it has been local hosted. Correct? So I think this is quite clear to all of you how the code is being looking like and how basically we can try to interpret that. Now let's go ahead and try to run this and see whether in our current implementation it is running well enough or not, right? So I can just straight away say python main.py. Let's go ahead and run this. And once the locally hosted link is ready, we can straight away click that and see whether my application is behaving as it is or not. So mostly it's going to be doing so, as there are no more changes we have done as compared to that of our previous code. So yes, our this link is ready. And if I try to go ahead and open it, so as that of the previous application, it's behaving quite similar, right? Let's try to select here the part of circle for the cross verification. Let's say that you have selected a color and let me just change the shade to somewhat bluish, correct? And this size is going to be signifying the extremities. From the center, how much basically I'm going to go ahead or how much I am going to basically stretch towards the left, right, up and down direction, correct? If you want, so once you select it, let that be 86 in our case. And if I submit, then this is the shape I am able to draw right now, correct? Quite beautiful, right? Okay. If you try to download this, I guess you get automatic functionality from Grad.io to download. And I think we would be able to broaden up the screen as well. And here's how basically my image is going to be looking like. Okay. So just let's restore our Sketchpad dimensions. And I think there is a sharing option as well. You can try it on your own. So this is it. Let's cross verify the rectangular functionality as well. Let's try to give a bigger size and let the color be as that of blue only. If I submit, a bigger rectangle is getting created. So I hope all of you like this video. And in the next video, right, with the Grad.io exploration, whatever we are doing, right, let's go ahead and try to implement some 3D shapes. Okay. Those shapes is what we are going to drag around and we are going to explore it in a 3D direction. So stay tuned for the upcoming sections. Thanks.